UGA, UGA, that's that underground Athens. UGA, UGA, that's that underground Athens. It's a long way up, it's a long way down. Sometimes you get to pass the ones you see on the way back down. It's a long way up, yes sir. It's a long way down, yes sir. You got to learn to love yourself before someone else. I said it's great to be a Georgia Bulldog. Say it's great to be a Georgia Bulldog. I said it's great to be a Georgia Bulldog. I live in Cali, that's how I make it Bulldog.
Take the negative connotation of it, right? Let's be logical about it, right? You are about to throw it there.
Okay, I'm about to throw it, man. Okay.
You about to throw it, then you need to cover your venue, you need to cover your artist, right? So how would you do that?
I'll make sure I have my money before I do it, so I can pay my venue before time, and then you already seen how I do it.
Yeah. Now you want to go like that then?
Okay, you know what I'm saying? So that person I gotta pay is, I pay that DJ half, then pay the DJ the rest after. So that's how, you know what I'm saying? So tell me the right way to do it.
But don't think of like a right or wrong way. Think more like this, right? You want people to show up to your event, right? And you want them to be a part of. So you had vendors. So what your event you had vendors, you had performers, you had a DJ, and you had food. Now, did you make your money back?
Who, me?
Did you guys come out in the green? Did you come out in the red?
Who, me?
No, just in general, the whole event.
Hell no.
Well, you would probably need to actually make sure your networking is popping, because you need to have the amount of folks to even cover your return on investment, so that you can.
Before you walk in the door,
right?
You should be in the green. Mm-hmm. You should be able to cover everything before you walk in the door, right? And you have that, right? So now you don't put all that money out. So you're banking on the fact that people are going to show up to the event, and if artists are selling tickets, then artists are going to sell their tickets, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. People are knocking, but there's really nothing wrong with that. That's really how you can come up, because you're in Athens, and a lot of us know like at least 100 some people. That's me. Okay, don't get me started with that.
So I looked at you right.
I got a whole thing on that.
Heard.
So you walk in the venue, you're in green, right? So your venue's covered, your DJ's covered, your you know what I'm saying, the vendors, everybody's covered. So you're expecting to make your money back from the door and maybe the bar. And I say maybe on the bar today, it depends on which venue you use. Or if you're just doing a straight up like a book show, right? You're expecting to make your money based off your event, by selling your merchandise. That's why merch is important. By selling your books, and and if you do Eventbrite tickets, something like that, right? So you make money that way, right? So when you came to your event, you covered the necessities, but you still left in the red.
Why? Because my day.
No. So don't think about
you talking to me about me?
No, I'm just saying in general. Like,
okay.
You got to answer the question.
Okay. And make sure you pick the right day too. Right. Make sure you pick the right days.
Yeah. So like,
don't be anxious neither.
You see what I'm saying? So these are things that you had to learn firsthand. So when you first said it, I was like, right? Because when I said it, I was like, man, I'm not sure about that, but.
But that wasn't the original day. Yeah, everything went wrong, but so I just anyway. We ain't talking about that.
But this is not a.
The show must go on.
Yeah, the show must.
That's how I felt.
I'm not knocking it, because that's how you learn. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. This is not me being combative with your decision making. This is me saying, what did we learn from that?
Right.
Right. Because you covered the venue.
I learned a lot.
Right. Because at the end of the day, you still left with nothing. You left with food left over. You had people that didn't show up, right? And then you had you had more artists, right, that's supposed to perform, but only you and another artist perform.
It's on one artist that didn't come.
But that's what I'm saying.
And then, but the shelves that supposed to came. Yep. The shelf, but I'm glad the shelves didn't come, because you know what I'm saying, I got me some beautiful bean footage of myself. You know what I'm saying, and then how boom, how I put it together real quick. You know.
How you did what?
boom, boom, boom. I put it together real quick. Yeah.
But you remember I told you though, because I peeped it early on. I said, well, I'm not gonna focus it on this because I still can make it look good. So that's the cameraman job, right?
But I don't think I was mad about that. The last two chefs call out the day of. Like one call out an hour before, then the other call out 2 hours before. So I'm like,
that comes with this. So that's the part that see everybody looks at the glamorous stuff. Oh, it looks good, but when you put up your own money, and you got to book this stuff, and you got to show up, and you got to travel, and let's say like, man, we traveled for hours and got to a venue, and it was on like 10 or 20 people. Ooh. The show still must go on, but
exactly.
But I will say this: as long as you got merch, we sold more merch at the merch table. People just walked in, just bought merch. You know what I'm saying? That like you gotta set yourself up where you don't fail, right? That so you have to be a universal thinker when it comes to like your book tours or to your show tours or whatever the case may be. You gotta be a universal thinker. You gotta see the end. Then you gotta see things going south. You gotta say, well, what if my show's up? And then we got 10 to 15 people. Well, 10 to 15 people who spend $20 is still some money, right? You know what I'm saying? So you got to think like that. You got to think outside the box. You got to think
this old white lady told me a long time ago. She said, always begin with the end in mind. Correct. So you got to have at least, be your pros and cons. And okay, what if it goes right? What if it completely left? Right. But however you end it, however you begin it, make sure this is how you end it. So
number one, never expect the show to go the way you plan for.
Yeah.
That's rule number one. I tell the whole team that every time. That's rule number one. That's what happens when it comes when you take your craft serious.
Right.
I just try not to put expectations on anything, really.
Oh yeah, and that's
how you get set up for disappointments.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not necessarily that, but think of it more like.
I mean, this is how I be feeling about expectations, and I just be. Well, you know how I was feeling and how I was going about it. I didn't.
Well, I told you, like bigger picture, it turned out good.
I just.
We're able to focus in. Like I said, I just changed the narrative. I just changed the narrative. Okay, we're gonna make this about you because this is amazing how you sit here, all the chefs call out, right? You still by the time I got back there, you done cook all this chicken, you cook rice, you cook what else? Rice, chicken.
Wow.
Spaghetti.
You did?
Yeah, spaghetti. You were playing like this. Made a phone call.
What kind of show was this?
Right. Yeah, share the video, man.
Yeah, we got to talk about that at some point or another. Yeah. But that's pretty.
Ain't that amazing? Like,
I will say that. Yeah.
You really switch the whole, and that's why me someone who's watching it, right? Because I'm not a chef. I was like, this is amazing how everybody called out chef wise. By the time I got back there, he got chicken going.
Improvise like a mug, right?
And then all them folk to be capping, talking about they the best chef. They gonna do this, they do this and do this. Yeah, what? Y'all ain't showed me nothing yet. I still think y'all can't cook. I'm still top chef till you prove me wrong.
Yeah, but you did such an amazing job. That's a gift, man.
But that was kind of one of the main reason why I wanted to do it, because a lot of people was talking that bullshit about the culinary experience. A lot of chefs wanted to do some stuff. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it together for a lot of chefs, so we can and do some stuff for some chefs.
Yeah.
Shit. Get it to me.
Yeah, spade game included too, right?
Oh yeah.
You seen what's been posted lately?
No, the idea.
A spade tournament coming up. That's how that works, man.
I already knew that idea was gonna fly.
Yeah.
I already knew that idea was gonna fly. Period.
So if anything, what you take from it, you take from it, well, getting better at executing. That's what you take from it. And
that was another thing a lot of people got on time. Shoot, that'd be a great idea. Let's do the spade tournament. I'm gonna pull up and play spades and get drunk and shit like that. And but we're gonna see.
And you see your idea. I didn't see spade tournament. It's like when you see I didn't know there was an Oldsmobile car until I got an Oldsmobile car. That's a nice Oldsmobile.
You know, every time you get a car, you always see that car.
Yeah.
Like after it breaks down.
Yeah. I didn't see the spade tournament. I started seeing other spade tournaments. That's not saying different. What I'm saying is, like, you're on the right path, but when it came to execute, that's what you got to look at. You got to look at your executing when you execute the plan.
Hey, my bad. Thank y'all for keeping it real, Mr. White. Happy Sunday to y'all. Today I got a special guest, back by popular demand. Yeah. We're gonna talk about a couple more things. I mean, y'all kept asking, and she was like, "Sure, why not?" So she here, and if you need to go get the book, go get the book. Blooming in muddy waters. You know, sort of like that rose in the concrete. We all have our stories. She have introduce yourself, please.
So my name is Annette. My government name would be Kayana Annette Barnett, but again, I go by Annette. Um, I don't know if I want to say I'm one of Athens' finest because I'm not. I am an upcoming author. I am a mother, and I am a nurse in the healthcare field for cardiology. Um, this book is I'm still kind of overwhelmed with the fact that it has done as good as it's done in Amazon and in Barnes and Noble. Right now, it is the best-selling motivational book out as we speak on Amazon. So I gotta thank God for that because it's a whole lot of people with the book, with me putting the book out, and it's my story, but it happens to be relatable to a lot of people, men, women, uh, young adults as well. So yeah, so I figured we might need to get into the book a little more.
It was a lot of things that I pulled out of it my darn self. I think we even talked about it last time that I can relate to.
Yeah.
So just in case, there's something that we're gonna do today. We're gonna pull a couple of things out just in case. Cause some people, everybody don't read.
Right.
I mean, it took a long time for me to read. I went all through middle school, high school. I graduated high school not knowing how to read, but I taught myself how to read after high school. Believe it or not. I mean, I couldn't go life without, you know what I'm saying, not knowing.
Yeah.
Because I might have different things that I need to read, especially instructions, directions to things that need to be done. And if I don't know, I can't just sit there and be quiet, like acting like I do know, which a lot of times is what I was doing in the beginning. I didn't like that feeling. But Kiana, she
You
gonna
sound like my mama. She call you that government name when you get in trouble.
Miss Burnett. Hold up. Question. Someone we talking about. Hey, so what if we do it? They do like a lot of stuff at different goddamn open mic nights. So you can take your book to open mic night and like read a scripture out of it. That'd be dope. Pull up a chair and
read a section.
A section, yeah.
a chapter. Yes. Chapter in a couple verses.
Yeah, she came. She was one of the ones that was at the She's a life coach, so she actually was there yesterday, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But yeah, see visions you got to write them down, and when Eugene work on it, and we already told you you got some people, so it won't just be me. You got some folks in the mix. All we gotta do is put this thing together. Yeah, just show up. I promise you, but we put it in the universe will give it to us like it should be.
I wish y'all let's start capping up for real though. Say what you say, mean what you say. Period. Whoever you is, whoever need to hear it, stop lying all the darn time. Anyway, carry on. I'm sorry.
Well, this happens to be from May up until October is when we recognize mental health heavily. Um, we should be celebrating mental health every day. Everybody should take a mental health day every day, and that means taking some time to not just kiss your brain, but to um, have an attitude of gratitude into the things that you have actually overcome, or you know, going through therapy to overcome the things that you are going through, um, or helping somebody else that may just be going through some things that they are going through. Just because I don't want to just say the black community, but I'm going to stress the black community. Why? Because we were not just trained, we were set up to actually be strong and not talk about the things that we actually go through and just overcome them and develop a family and work and just be almost like a robot, right? And not talk about these things that we actually that literally destroys us mentally and physically and emotionally, and we never actually succeed. So yeah, in a sense we were set up to fail. So for me, mental health is a detrimental thing, because things like anxiety and depression, um, we suffer greatly in our community, in our culture, from these specific things. A lot of things go unnoticed because of anxiety and depression. And one of those, uh, the main ways, or one way is, for it to actually happen, is that we don't communicate. Like, the main thing is we don't communicate, and then to communicate with other people that look like us is a different thing too. And so yesterday I had the opportunity to be around a whole lot of people that looked like me and that were um, in the same area as me, and just beautiful, gifted women that were able to talk about things that some of us still are in traditional struggles with, and that is talking about things that we go through, experiencing trauma, and or some people not even acknowledging that they still have that trauma that they are dealing with, and whether you had it when you was a child or you have it as an adult, you've experienced it at some point or another, and it doesn't like let you go until you let it go. And just like me and Mr. White was talking about before we started this session, there are a lot of things that we just have to let go. We have to give back to the earth. We can't take with us, you know. And so we got to learn how to be a little bit more kinder to our mental health, just like we do any other part of health or whatnot. So jumping into the book would be, I did want to maybe pull out like a chapter, or even maybe a quote or something, or even you ask some questions that you felt like that might have been like, oh, okay, could you explain that, or um,
I understand it very well. Everything I read, I understand very well. Like I said, I relate to a lot. Uh, I'm sorry, it's just still on my mind. Mental health is real
hmm
because I used to be. Well, it's not a used to be thing. I am. See, you might even hear me in a couple of my rhymes say, I've been to therapy. But I've been to therapy, but it was the Lord that changed me. I've been to therapy, but it was the Lord that changed me. Here, I had to change my mindset. There's a lot of things that go on when you're dealing with mental health, stuck in those same old ways, doing those same things over and over. You got to change your mindset. You got to not want those things in your heart anymore. Um, Bipolar. And they had me on different type of medicines, et cetera, et cetera. But it wasn't till, you know what I'm saying, and I hated the medicine, especially when I was on Seroquel. And I used to get weak. I used to be sleepy all the time. But till I got my mind changed, then my mind got better. When my mind changed, then I got better. I'm not perfect. I still deal with some of those things. I still deal with a lot of things from day to day. But in order for some change to happen, I had to come out that river. Denial. I can no longer be in denial and sit there and say, oh, I don't like this, or that's not me, or I'm going to be quiet. I had to actually talk about some of those things. Or I had to actually put some of those things on paper, light it up in flames, and let it hit the atmosphere. I'm sorry. Some people don't want to change. Well, I'm gonna tell you this: if don't nothing change, nothing changes. What would you like us to read? I mean, what would you give us a point where what something that you really want us to hear, so we can kick it to these people real quick.
I think, let's see, and going back to the book, this book was designed. I was telling Dr. White, Mr. White, I was telling Mr. White before session started that my main focus in actually putting the book out was not just to give give the youth or the young people something to read. It was to get us back to actually reading. So, just like he said, some people may struggle with comprehending, or some people may struggle with not liking to read. But if you had to think about it, I don't think, I don't think anybody just likes to read. I don't think anybody just likes to go to work. We have to do what we got to do to pay our bills, right? Um,
Definitely hate
it's
going to work.
so just like the Bible, the good Bible would tell you, if we don't actually practice stuff, you lose it, and knowledge is key. And how else would you actually be able to comprehend things at your at your own leisure without actually being able to put something in a sentence and just read it. So sometimes we, to get a better understanding, we, these things we may not, like doing, I would say enjoy doing or whatever, but it's a necessary tool. And so to put the book together was to make the book where the words were big enough for everybody to actually read it, because we complain about the most things.
It ain't big enough for me.
Uh-huh. And then to make it
I can't
interesting
see.
to where you can actually
I need
read
some
it
glasses.
and read it enough to where, okay, it keeps you interested enough to read it from start to finish. So you don't have to put it down and be like, oh, okay, I got about 8 more chapters to read. So I don't know. I think I would probably go to chapter 7, and I know that's really deep in the book, but it's chapter 7 is a dysfunctional household.
Oh, so many. And hey, speaking of that, I also want to say we keep what we have with vigilance. You keep what you have with vigilance. Also, you keep what you have by giving it away. That's why when I be here talking, I be talking to myself in the mirror because I'm trying to help myself. And I better myself by reminding myself of some of the tools that I need. Remember that. Even with blessings, you keep what you have by giving it away. Chapter 7, blooming in muddy waters. The the dysfunctional family, the dysfunctional household.
Right.
Let's get it right. Let's get it right.
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay.
And for you to have your Bibles, uh, y'all know it. I
Gee,
I
you
I
got
I,
your.
I guess I guess
Okay.
she waiting on me to read, so I guess I'm gonna start. She
Yeah,
said,
I think. I mean, that's what you want to do.
"The bond that links your true family is not one of blood, but the respect and joy in each other's life." What that quote is?
That's Richard Bach. Um, he's also not just a poet, but he also is an author. Um, he's very family oriented, and again, we're talking about mental health, and a lot of us will keep toxic attachments when it comes to family and friends when God Himself is trying to depart us to get us right, to make things better for us, because we can't be any good to anyone if we're not being good to ourselves. So that was a near and dear quote that I probably wrote down maybe, I want to say maybe 18 times, with me knowing who Mr. Richard Box is. So yeah, I knew that was going to be in the book.
Also, when we're speaking, sort of like this book, we get to dealing with people and we get stuck in the same chapter. We get stuck in the same chapter dealing with the same people. We can never finish their book if we don't move on to the next chapter. That's how we are sometimes. We get to dealing with the same people when we can't get our blessings of increase because we are afraid, some of us may be afraid, to let some of those things go, like our past hurts and downfalls. We don't want to let them go so we can walk into the new door. In order to get that blessing of increase, you must open that door. But some people, everybody is not allowed to go through that door. Some people you have to leave behind. Some people you have to leave behind. Something I was saying earlier. It's okay to be selfish. It's okay to love yourself and to care about what you want.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Let's carry on. Read, sister.
All right. So skipping around into chapter 7, I will say the first paragraph, it says, in today's world, teenagers opening up about their struggles on social media are praised more than the war heroes. As awareness of mental health grows, vulnerability is celebrated. No one is considered more toxic than a person who aloof, shuts people out, choosing to suffer alone. Then this person is condemned forever, complaining about their struggles. Do we get that?
I want you to know. I want you to know that I love you. And you are not alone. Whatever it is that you are going through, somebody already been through that. Somebody didn't make it out, but somebody did make it out. You are not alone. The struggle is real. But what you gonna do about it? You got to be able to stand up, or you just can just wallow in that mess. Don't forget, he ain't gonna bless you in your mess.
The second paragraph says, society either expects us to romanticize our struggles or shut up about them. When I was younger, no one liked a whiny person who wallowed in their self-pity and anguish. Bottling up our emotions was often our only option. We talked about that as well, which is why, again, going back to mental health, people would sit here, and if you had a different behavior or attitude toward things, you were crazy.
Huh.
They called you crazy. Or if you did decide to go and talk to a therapist or talk to somebody about your problems or whatever like that, you were considered crazy. Not that you got help, you know what I'm saying? You were considered crazy for getting the help.
And believe it or not, even before I got grown and, I got therapy on my own, you know what I'm saying? But when I was a child, I got therapy. I was done a couple things and they thought I was crazy. But I got therapy, and then other people thought that I was crazy. But not knowing I wasn't. I had reasons for what I did, and I felt strongly about what I did.
Right.
But something got to be wrong with him. So they sent me to Max Sewell. Max Sewell don't sent me to Atlanta to go to therapy, etc., etc. But self-pity, that's where that depression begins.
Wow, you said that. That's true.
Self-pity, that's where the depression begins. So if you don't think that you may be depressed, and many people are depressed in many different ways, and they use different tools. Some people don't use drugs, but many people use depression and get addicted to different things. There are some people that are so depressed they just don't even talk no more.
Yeah, true.
That's a tool. But here today, we are here to help you find those tools to not romanticize, but to get out of that. So you won't have to wallow in your mess.
Skipping around, we are on page 45 at the very end. It says, when a child is raised in a dysfunctional family, they either become emotionally turbulent, unable to regulate their emotional responses, or they suppress their emotions to avoid causing conflict. They spend their life in this childish delusion that if they shut their eyes to the constant conflict, things will eventually stop bothering them. While such a person appears indifferent, even apathic to everyone else, this child craves love more than anyone else. Of course, in my family, I was that child. So that part right there is just saying, if you know, like again, if you read the book or whatnot, just like Mr. White was just saying about communication, at some point, um, when people are going through self pity or if they're going through any type of mental anguish or whatnot, the first thing that is shut off is communication. Um, you just, it's like, what's the point really? You're not listening. What I'm saying is not getting through, and that again is a form of depression, because it tends to take on uh, different looks, and how it actually goes. So yeah.
And how it actually goes, when it starts, we start to use all these different types of defense mechanisms.
Mm-hmm.
We want to throw up all these boundaries and these walls, shut people out, when we ought to bring some people in and talk about a couple of things. But us, especially us men, us black men, only thing we want to talk about is got knowing things that are negative.
Mm-hmm.
We want to put it in the back and not worry about it. But as long as it's there, it's just gonna manifest. You may think that you're controlling it for so long, but after a while, it's gonna resurface. And when it resurfaces, it's gonna break you down.
Mm.
So that's why it's important to deal with some of these things head on. But when we talk about these things, us men, oh, you weak or you're a punk, or because you feel no. You are very strong. Why? Because you have the strength to talk about it. Because you have the strength to voice it. Don't let nobody tell you anything else otherwise. Chances is they just want to discourage you because they are weak, but you are strong.
All right, so we have skipped over to chapter 9, with you saying that with being strong. Um, that quote says, holding on is believing that there's only a past. Letting go is knowing that there is a future. And that's by Daphne Rose Kingma. And she is actually another, she's really high in her faith when it comes to inspiration and giving you hope. So she has a good bit of books as well as far as motivation and encouragement. And that paragraph says, One can dwell on feeling of resentment for so long. When times are tough, it feels impossible to see things from a different perspective. Nothing feels right. Some days it feels like the universe is working against you to bring you down. Every flicker of hope gets extinguished, crushing every source of joy. And it says, when you've been fighting demons for so long, a feeling of defiance take over. You feel so exhausted from lifelong struggles, it becomes impossible to hold on to hope. As a consequence, you start to stagnate. This inflexibility starts to hold you back from making progress in life. Um, that's pretty just that's self-explanatory, because I think that I would hope that anybody can relate to that. That's even like going to work, working a 10-hour shift in a warehouse. And it just seems like you can't get enough production. It don't matter how long and how much you work, it just don't look like you did enough. And even that can actually cause you to actually feel like you're stagnating. And you just imagine that in some type of relationship, such as family, or boyfriend and girlfriend, or mother daughter, or however you look at that. You can, keep hope up for so long, and somebody can just, every time you wishing for somebody else is come and knock the wind out you. You just like, oh, okay, now I got to pick up the pieces and start this all over again. At some point, you just feel like you're stagnating. It's like you're never gonna see a good end. And that's where the quote actually comes in, is we got to learn how to even let stuff go. Like, you can't take tomorrow into tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever happened today needs to be today. And hope for better energy for tomorrow, and just go on that one.
Wise man told me a long time ago. He said, "Leave tomorrow troubles and struggles till tomorrow."
That's it.
But that's what the enemy want. He come to steal, kill, and destroy. And when you let all of that bottle up and get and tell you that you can't and that you are defeated, that's what the enemy wants. He wants you to stay in that mess so you can't be productive. You're not feeling me, are you? So long as you feeling weak, or as long as you stand on that dope and that fentanyl, as long as you looking for him or for her to support you, you can't put your own shoes on. You can't give that message. You can't hold your head up and strut your stuff like Sherman Clark. As long as you stay in that depression state, you losing. He's winning. Your enemy, whoever your enemy is. But don't forget, he come to kill, steal, and destroy. Uh, Destroy your peace, steal your happiness.
And closing this out, this is still chapter 9, is page 63. At the end, it says, after forming a genuine relationship, I realized most of my rage was rooted in my sense of loneliness. Just having someone to talk to while you feel down can make all the difference in the world. In the hour of crisis, fleeing problems feel like the only viable option. There are many people who will drain you until you feel nothing but despair. However, eventually you'll meet people who will bring joy into your life and fill that void of hatred. With every new beginning, there's always hope around the corner. To the quote Maya Angelou, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. And I don't know how familiar y'all are with that quote, but it's pretty famous, and that speaks volumes. She's probably one of my favorite female poets. Eugene said his as well. So yeah.
Check it. Maya Angelou. We need joy as we need air.
Yes.
We need love as we need water.
Yep.
We need each other as we need the earth we
share.
share.
That's it.
Understand that? So sometimes, even if you don't say in grief, especially if somebody come to work, don't ask them 1,000 questions.
Yes, Lord.
Sometimes all they might need is just a pat on the back or a hug. Just say, I love you, sister. I love you, brother. Words, actions can go a long way. Because you never know how a person is feeling that day. You could change somebody's day. Check me out now. Miss Martha, 79 years old. We work together. Truck driver came, delivered some food. I didn't ask him, did he want something to eat? I just went and fixed him a plate. Had a plate ready for him when he got done, delivering the order. She was talking to him. She was telling me she had talked to him and he was going through some things. But she also told me that he told her it made his day. Because he go to all of these different places and deliver all of this food and stuff, and no one ever really give him anything or even offer him something. Not even a cup of water. But who knows? He might be struggling hard and taking care of a whole bunch of families. He might not have anything to eat himself. But it made his day just by a plate of food. Some of y'all want to even share a bag of chips with somebody. I encourage you to do better. That's the challenge for you today. Look into the mirror and tell yourself, I love you. Look in the mirror and tell yourself that you love yourself. Because it starts with self. You can't love nobody else until you love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you can't receive or give it away.
You say that again.
And I want you to understand that. A lot of y'all out here fake loving, but if you do not love yourself, there's no room for any other love. Thank y'all for keeping it real with Mr. White and Kiana Burnett on this beautiful Sunday. I gave you a challenge, and I challenge you to do it. It's only words to yourself in the privacy of your own home or in your car because you got rear view mirror. Just pause. Learn to love yourself. Why? Because we keep what we have with vigilance. Till next time, actually this week, Wednesday, we're gonna talk about we're gonna keep it the same, and we're gonna talk about childhood trauma.
Before he ends this show, I do want to give a shout out to the other upcoming authors that are doing their thing in the community. Miss Markeisha Ross, I had the opportunity to meet you yesterday, and it was definitely a pleasure.
Beautiful.
The book that she just actually put out, which is Caged, Uncaged, and it's talking about family secrets leads to generational curses, generational curses, and that in itself is just is relatable. And so I not only would like for you to just to support me, continue to support me, but to also support this young sister as well, because we're living in times where we need to be doing better. Like, screw the talking. We've talked about it. It's time to walk. It's time to do the action.
Walk it like
and I mean, like, really put this thing into work, because we need to be trying to leave this next generation something a little bit more, stable. And from what I see, like I had the opportunity to meet a lot of beautiful women yesterday. Amongst all of them, I met a brilliant black farmer, female farmer, that almost had me in tears with the story she had to tell us in regards to kids coming to her farm for the very first time during this time of year, with their camp, and they just not enjoying the farm. And I could just remember when I was little, we played in dirt. We pretended that dirt was, we learned how to cook with just making, dirt pies, and learning how to braid with just using the weeds or whatever. And not to mention going to the farms and all that kind of stuff, being excited about seeing the horses and stuff. Now, I can't say everybody was fond about, touching on animals, but to hear that you got kids nowadays walking into farms and, oh, this stank, it stank out here, or why we out here, or scared to put their hands in something as simple as dirt, and this is how we grow our food, is it's wild. Because like, what are we actually really teaching our kids? Like, what are they doing with their time?
They not eating none of that stuff that we're growing.
Right.
They eating McDonald's. That's what they eating, and ain't no vegetables in none of the stuff, the little salads.
Yeah, and they not knowing, what I'm saying, what they're getting out of the grocery stores, because they're not taking the time to actually get to be informed. So we got to do better with supporting not just our own, but we got to support each other. And I'm not going, I support better business. I support good business, whether it's black, white, orange, green, purple, or whatever. But as far as us being able to say that we are a people that stick together, I just really think it's just time for us to show that. Like, we say that so much that the showing looks real fake. Let's put it out there, So it's just time to walk the walk,
Ain't no looking about it. It definitely is.
Yeah.
Point blank period. It is. Yeah. Just like your friends.
Right.
Fake friends. Fake pretend like you're somebody's friend, but you ain't supporting nobody except yourself.
Right. So support is definitely an action word that we definitely need to do more of. So we do need to start off by just actually reading and informing getting ourselves more informed about what's going on with each other and what's going on with ourselves. Because like you said, you can't love, you can't even receive it well if you're not giving it. Because how you gonna relate? So
I'm gonna put y'all on this too. Nice TV show called Greenleaf. Check it out. But since I was talking about TV show, one of my favorite TV shows right now, I might have a few of them, but one of my favorite TV shows is Queen Sugar. If you haven't, because some of y'all don't like to read, maybe you can look at the TV show called Queen Sugar, and maybe you can get a message out of that. Because it's based on New Orleans, Louisiana area, and the farm life. But it's a lot deeper than that. So I want to give a shout out to the people that put that together. Oprah put that together?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, damn.
Queen Sugar?
Yeah.
I think she did. Was it Tyler?
Ain't neither one of them, I don't think.
Who is it?
I hope it ain't. Maybe
Why
Tyler.
You don't like neither one of them?
I with Tyler.
You mess with Tyler. You just don't mess with Oprah.
Shut up, Danny. Before I get shut down. Shut up, Danny. Shout out to Oprah. Shout out to Oprah.
Shout out to both of them.
Oh my gosh.
Shout out to both of them if they did.
Anybody.
I don't watch it. I just don't.
Hey, but it's a message for you. Yeah. It's a message in that for you.
UGA, that's that underground anthem. That's that underground. It's a long way up. It's a long way down. Sometimes you get to past the ones you see on the way back down. It's a long way up. It's a long way down. You got to learn to love yourself before someone else. I said it's great to be a Georgia Bulldog. Say it's great to be said it's great to be a Georgia Bulldog. Even if I lived in Cali,
This is how I'm living.